All right, in this video, we're going to talk to you about the move-up buyer. The move-up buyer is defined by somebody who owns a property that is no longer livable by their standards because it's too small, and they need to move up into something larger. Okay, and that could be from a condo to a single-family home, or from a single-family home to a larger single-family home, and there could be a variety of reasons why that person would want to do that. Doesn't have to be children, but children are usually the reason why. But it could just be lifestyle. They want more space. They want a better neighborhood. Whatever. There's a multitude of reasons why somebody would want to move up. Our goal here is not to care about that necessarily, but to care about who it is that fits that criteria in our area so that we can target them effectively. Okay? So in my area, if I'm looking at the move-up buyer, I'm looking at a couple of things. One, the age range. They had to have already owned a home, and you can suspect that anybody between 30 and 55 is probably move up buyer potential. But there's no set age range for this. This is just a guess, and your guess is as good as mine. Okay, so use your local area knowledge to figure out age. For income, though, we will need some income, and income is important because they're moving up and buying something more expensive. They're going to need to show that they can afford that. So unlike their downsizing tutorial where we didn't have income, income's really important here. So we want to make sure that they have some income. Obviously, home ownership, they're going to have to own something, right? It doesn't matter to us what they own, but they're going to have to own a home, okay? Generation's not really that important. If you want to segment your audience that way, you absolutely can, but I don't think it's really relevant to us here. Life events might be relevant. Some folks use the recently engaged or the recently married as life events to target move-up buyers. It's certainly a possibility, but babies are usually the life events that spur move-up buyers, and that's not one of the options here. But there are some people out there that they get married and then they decide, hey, let's plan ahead and let's get this 4-bedroom house even though we don't have kids. So you can certainly do it that way if you'd like. I would lean against it, and I'm sure at some point Facebook will add new child or however you would describe it under life events, and then of course the move up buyer would be extremely relevant. That would be extremely relevant for move up buyers. Okay. In behaviors is where it really starts to whittle down our audience. We're looking for people who are likely to move, right? People who are very likely to move residences. And again, we've talked about them being homeowners already. So they're likely to move homeowners, okay? And then they've lived in the house from three plus years basically, because 6+ is pretty vague. But you can just go 3 to 5 if you'd like, or you can go 6+. I chose both because especially given the height of the market in certain areas, 3 years might be enough for them to consider moving after having achieved enough equity in their home and being able now to afford a down payment on a larger, more expensive house. So again, local area knowledge is going to trump everything that I'm doing here, but you get the point. We want to target our move-up buyers based off of their demographics related to your area. And Facebook is going to allow you to do that really, really easily. So according to this, I have 73,000 people that make over $100,000 a year that own a home between the ages of 30 and 55 who are likely to move and have lived in those homes between 3+ years, 3 and infinity years, okay? So that's a pretty good potential reach. Here's the issue with move-up buyers. Unlike our downsizers, unlike our first-time home buyers, unlike our foreclosures buyers, the lead magnet is a little bit harder here. How do you get them? How do you acquire them? And how do they contact you for this particular move? So the one thing you always can do is write a guide, a move-up buyer's guide, how to best use your equity to purchase the true dream home you've been waiting for, right? And you could start funneling information, targeted ad information to them, and seeing how responsive they are to that information. You could write blog articles on this and have them come to your website and request more information on moving up. And so you're going to have to get really creative with this one. While Facebook does a lot of the work for you in terms of targeting, the work is still yet to be done in terms of acquiring that customer. So my suggestion to you as you're listening to this, start with a guide. The guide is the best way to go, and use your experience to generate the information that a move-up buyer is going to want and need to make the right decision for their family. And as you write the guide, write it with that move-up buyer in mind. How would you react to the information you're hearing, right? But also think about the alternatives that move-up buyers might have. Just because they're moving up doesn't mean they have to sell. It also means that they could rent the unit out and then use the equity, or maybe they already have a down payment, whatever, to buy another house. Okay, so write or acquire some materials that are relevant to that option as well, so that you can start implanting that idea in people's minds that, hey, you don't necessarily need to sell, you could rent it. And some landlord tips would be really good here, right? So how to be a good landlord. Are you a first-time landlord? Want to be a first-time landlord, right? All of these are definitely lead magnets for people. If they already own a home and they're inquiring about being a landlord, it means that they're either looking to invest in something or possibly looking to use their current home as an investment and then buy something else. And ultimately, we want them to use you for that reason.